We'll start with a small prayer. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachaduramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukhaṁ Karoti Vācālam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramanandama Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Simple palming. Apologizing first for this long pause that I had to experience, and because of this there was discontinuance of the sessions. I'm very sorry for that. Interestingly, this is perhaps the divine's plan that he wants me to understand the shloka very well. So the next upcoming shloka that we have to do is the most important shloka for all sadhakas, for all spiritual aspirants. So perhaps at this tough time, Krishna wants me to reiterate or rethink, reanalyze. While speaking, you learn more, no? The best way of learning is teaching. No? So while you teach, you learn yourself. You learn all by yourself better. So perhaps it is his plan that I have to do a relearn of this particular shloka now. 2.41. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi Vyavasayatmika buddhihi Ekeha kuru nandana Ekeha kuru nandana Bahu shakha hyanantascha Bahu shakha hyanantascha Buddhayo avyavasayinam Buddhayo avyavasayinam. It's a unique shloka. As I've been mentioning, this is most important shloka to understand for all yogis, yogic spirituals, or one who is really attuned to spirituality. Here, not only here, at many point of time, Krishna has been speaking about buddhi, the intellect. But here he becomes very, very clear in he crisply, clearly talks about a term called Vaisharadi or Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. What is this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi? We'll understand that first. The intellect which gains supreme determination that from now on, everything in this life is run by divine will. Mhm. Oh, this is this resolve that all the spiritualists take, all yogis take. Oh, this is nothing but Almighty's grace. It is this, it's not my efforts, it's been blessed. No, people often say, people often mention, even I've been mentioning these all these days in the messages. But the problem with our intellect is the mind is very puny, the mind is very weak. It is not determined enough, it is not strong enough to understand, believe, and lead life with that resolve being strong. People think this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi is a mental process. You learn, you unlearn, you try to put things into practice, what you've learned. You imbibe certain things, you incorporate certain things from others. These are all effortful process. Hence, what we do is completely effortful psychic process. But Krishna here mentions about something called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, which comes out of sheer grace. This resolve, this mountain-like resolve, strong, sturdy, comes out of sheer divine grace. What happens then? There is no sorrow. There is no misery. If we still find ourselves miserable, if we still trouble our mind with things, for me, it is a great loss, because me and my mother-in-law had been together for about 19 years now. Huh? Cooking with her, eating the food cooked by her, or serving what I cooked, learning cooking from her, doing things, managing households, sharing emotions. No, she was a great friend. So it becomes very difficult when a loved one departs. Hmm? But that is the test of time. It means all the efforts that have been put is psychic now. Sheer grace is yet to come. Why? Why is that? Why are we struggling? See, we have two states of mind. One is scattered state of mind, another is gathered state of mind. When the mind is scattered, you're always into things. I have to achieve these things. Oh, I have to leave there. I have to go there. I have to attend this. I have to escape from this. There's so many things. So it is like a hornet's nest. Okay, if you're going to prick with some stick or something, you're going to experience a swarm of bees around. Full of fantasies, imaginations, plans, strategizing things, thoughts, emotions. This is scattered state of mind. What's wrong in this? This is my nature. This is the original nature of mind. What's wrong with this? Scattered state of mind goes nowhere. Scattered state of mind holds no rest. scattered state of mind holds no peace. That's the problem. So how do I find my state of mind to be gathered? Only when you have a supremely convinced intellect. Oh, Lalita, you're talking about mind, you're talking about intellect. Intellect is a higher phenomenon than mind, definitely. Because intellect is that which guides you, which says this is right and wrong, which discerns the power of good and evil. It is definitely above mind. But what happens when a scattered state of mind, the mind starts to engulf the intellect? The mind eats up the intellect and starts to dominate. But on the other hand, with divine grace, with Krishna's grace, with Guru's grace, or the inner wisdom's grace, it so happens that your intellect starts to grow strong, stronger than your mind. And this filthy, distracted mind starts to become weak before the intellect. Acharya Sri Adi Shankaracharya, the greatest philosopher of any time, the great Advaita Vedantin, puts this as Nishchayatmika Buddhi. Nishchayatmika Buddhi means that which is completely certain. That intellect which is supremely convinced, certain, which says there is nothing in this world that you have to worry for, which gives you this great revelation. There is nothing in this impermanent world for you to cherish. Oh, what a pessimistic idea. It is not pessimism. I'll give you an example. Okay, you sleep, you get a dream, and in that dream, you're a realtor, you do business, you've purchased some property, and somehow, with some havoc created, with some natural havoc created, or something or the other happened, that you lost the property. And you're deeply depressed and whimpering, crying, sharing this news to your friend, and then you get up whimpering. What do you do when you get up? You strike your forehead. Oh my God. What a bad and stupid dream. And I've got. I don't know why was I crying. My God. Oh my God. Real tears. How can you worry for anything that which is unreal? Isn't that stupidity? But it isn't possible at every facet, every dimension of life. It becomes very difficult. We cry when someone leaves. We are insulted and we are worried about it. We face challenges, we lose somewhere, and then we are worried again. That is hugely natural. Yet, if this Nishchayatmika Buddhi, if this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, what Krishna is speaking now, is dawned unto us, slowly you try to overcome all that which is unreal. And then you will say, wipe the tears. Oh, this is unreal. I was stupid to cry. I was stupid to whimper. What is that we gain? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi eke hai. Such mind, such intellect, which is pretty sure that divine will shall run my life. The Ichha Shakti. That is what we call in Sanskrit. Ichha Shakti, the divine will. When you have that, you're always one-pointed. Krishna says, Ekeha Kurunandana. Oh, the son of Kuru, you will be one-pointed, focused, concentrated, never stumble, never fall mentally, physically, if you have this gathered state of mind. If you have the supremely convinced intellect. What happens otherwise? Bahushaka hyanantascha buddhyo avyavasayinam. If you fail to do, then what will happen? You will have avyavasayika buddhi. Your buddhi, your intellect is unsteady, your mind is always wanting something. A perturbed mind is never satisfied. One thing is done, another thing, we have to achieve this, we have to do that, we have to maintain this, we have to grow this, we have to escape from this. All these so-called all-directioned mind, Bahushaka, all-direction mind. Mind which goes in helter-skelter everywhere, in all directions. What is the problem? It never rests, it never relaxes. Remember, in yoga, in any yoga practice, we do an asana and then we relax. Sometimes even during asana, we are told to relax. No? Why? So that we drink the taste, the nectar of what is called mental soothness, mental agitation-free relaxation. Once you drink up that cup, what happens? You are slowly addicted to that cup. No? Like the coffee, which is having one. Huh? Every morning, there should be a cup of coffee, and that makes you on. No? Such cup of coffee, when you're introduced to, then you get addicted to. And it is not bad addiction because it keeps you in a state of health. The state of poise or rest is what is needed. Will we not become tamasic, lethargic in that case? If that is the case, then one might be depressed more. We think if we relax, if we make our mind calm, if we settle down, and we become lethargic, we cannot evoke the actions inside us. That's what we think. And that's state of foolishness. You take up anything, for example, a poem, a painting, or a simple art of a craftsman. Forget art, any scientific invention. What percolates into that state of that artist or the scientist? Is he agitated or is he calm? Krishna had already spoken about this in the second chapter. We have already seen this shloka. Buddhiyukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrute tasmat yoga yujjasva yoga karma sukaushalam. Yoga is the state of mastering actions, perfect actions. Not because it is 10% perfect and 10% beautiful, but because you are unattached. Buddhi yukto. He uses the word buddhi here. He uses the word supremely convinced intellect through which you gain this state. So even in this so-called impermanent world, if you have to act, if you have to work, if you have to succeed, there is an amount of rest which is needed. Rest in the mind, rest in the psyche. But what have we become? What have we been taught? You become restless, you become jack of all trades, you do n number of things, and then things are done, you'll be praised for, which is completely not working, completely non-relatable. Bhagavan Ramana calls his technique as Maha Yoga, the great yoga. What is the technique? If you are unsteady in any sort, in your emotions, with your relatives, with your work, with your family, whatever, in any possible manner, he says, find out the person who is worrying. Ask yourself, who is worrying? He gives the stool of investigation, no? And asks us, who is the investigator? Investigate the investigator. Don't answer the question. You have to investigate, no? You don't have to answer. It's me. Who me? Me, Lalita, the female, the daughter-in-law, no? The wife of someone, the mother of 2 kids. That is avyavasatmika buddhi. That is what an all-direction mind speaks. This is what me. So when you are there, you feel the great loss, you feel worried, you feel alone. But when you're steady, when you try to drink the nectar perching on the heart flower, completely aligned, not the swarm of bees. Bees perching on the heart flower, one flower. And then starts to drink the nectar of peace, then starts to drink the nectar of happiness real, and it never flies away. It stays. Hence Ramana Bhagavan says, ask who? Who are you? Bhagavan, I'm worried. My mother-in-law is giving a big time to me. There's a lot of tiffs going on. All these local, very material kind of problems are being taken to Guru. My God, I don't know why he is listening to all these things. But still, what sort of answer comes? Same answer. Ask yourself who is worried. This is Mahayoga. This is the perfect tool. In fact, the strongest weapon which will shovel off the so-called hovernest ego. Because ego is what which says, this is you, right? This is you. This is me. I'll take this story of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Long, long ago, Arjuna's great grandson called Parikshit, you know, ruled the kingdom Bharata in a wonderful manner. One fine morning, he comes to know with some bad work, some karma, some bad karma, kukarma. He got a shrapa, he got a curse from the rishi that he would be died dying in 7 days because of a snake called Vasuki. Vasuki or Takshaka, I don't remember who. He would be bitten by the snake. What happens when we know that we are going to die in 7 days? My God, ma'am, don't tell this. I have this phobia of death. Lately, I found a woman who was worried because she stepped into the studio where there was a death happened. There are people. Anyways, why are we digressing? Coming back to the story. What will happen when I know I'll be dying in 7 days? Oh my God, I'll be mourning. I'll be talking to my friends. I'll be going to meet relatives whom I was, fighting and struggling with. I'm going to apologize them. I'm going to make sweet time with them. I'm going to eat. I'm going to spend all the money. Bahushaka hyanantascha. This is the habit of a scattered mind. Will you get relaxed? No. That is what you've been doing all these years without knowing the death date, right? How will you be peaceful? There should be a peaceful exit. I remember the last words of my mother-in-law, Hato Sabi, leave me alone. She quietly passed away. Disconnecting oneself is the one important, vital thing. Disconnecting yourself from the world and connecting yourself with the self. The one vital thing which will make you peaceful. Which will make that Vyavasayatmika buddhi getting stronger. Let's see what Parikshit did. He sacrificed his entire kingdom. He gave all the riches to all the poor, all the citizens. He was never a king. He ran down the kingdom. Became a sage, a sannyasi, a renshit. Sat on the banks of Ganga. What did he do by sitting? Was he eating peanuts? Just sat. What did he do by sitting? By sitting, he developed Nishchayatmika Buddhi, Vyavasayat, that supremely convinced intellect that now that I have known there is something beyond this world, there is something ethereal, spiritual, and I have to attune myself unto that. He had no guru. He had no guiding light. He just sat there that come what may, I'm going to attune myself to that divine. Immediately there were celeste, what do you call it? The constellation of sages. Huge amount of sages came around him and sat with him. There came the Brahma Yogi, Shukacharya, the great Guru, the great Advaita Vedantin, the author of Bhagavatam. He came down and sat with him saying that, okay, all these 7 days of yours, I'm going to tell you divine stories. Stories through which you attune yourself with the self. Disconnect yourself from this temporal world. And then came the the pratha, the formulation of saptaham. Oh, 7 days of Bhagavata listening, Shravana. Even now it happens in India. Oh. You go down south in the regional languages, you will hear Bhagavatam for 7 days. You go up northern India in the regional language, in the Hindi, you will listen to 7 days of him. So Bhagavatam, divine stories. So that seventh day, not only the snake bit the king, but he attained moksha. He got enlightened, he got salvation. He redeemed himself from all those karma that he had been enduring all these years, all these lifetimes, sorry. So what is that we need? Nishchayatmika buddhi. Don't cater to the needs of your mind. It is very puny, it's filthy. Your mind is filthy. It will pull you down to the muddy stretch. What is that you have to focus upon? How am I going to evolve myself with this mountain-like resolve? Referring to mountain-like resolve, I get to relate something. You heard of Lord Shiva, right? The Adi Yogi, the first yogi. And his consort is Parvati, Shakti, the Kundalini Shakti, the goddess. So it so happens that Shakti tries to do tapascharya, penance, to obtain the Shiva. She stands one-legged in the Himalayan range. Himalayas itself is her father. Hence Parvati, Parvata Raja's Putri, the daughter of mountain. Why all these stories? These are symbol-made stories, symbolic stories. Parvati is that Nishchayatmika buddhi, the mountain resolve. When the mountain resolve is stronger and tries to do the penance, tries to do the sacrifice, it somehow at one point of time gets her beloved Shiva, the self, and thus get realized. The Jivatman, the soul, having that Shakti of Nishchayatmika buddhi, is getting married to Shiva. Gets ordained in this pure consciousness. That is Shiva. So, only through Nishchayatmika buddhi, the self is realized. Otherwise, you're all directional. Vyavasaya, avyavasayatmika buddhi, bahushakaha. You will be leading to nowhere. Samyak, samsarate iti samsaraha. This particular world is always moving, continuously moving. But does it end anywhere? It ends nowhere. Hence it is called samsara. So when you are mixing yourself, your identity with this world, you end nowhere. You end up being nowhere. Hence, get ordained. Get that mountain-like resolve. Investigate the investigator. Try to find rest, solace, peace. These are all the cues that the shloka gives up. I'll end here. And if you have any questions, please let me know.